Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. So, you've probably heard of Patrick Bet David's book, Your Next Five Moves. But today, we're not just talking about it, we're turning it into a real practical blueprint. Forget the theory for a minute, this is your cheat sheet for actually doing it. Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll lock in the core outcome. What's the whole point of this? Then, we'll get into the bid idea, the operating system you'll run on, and your 5-move action plan. After that, we'll cover the habits you need to build and, just as important, the traps you've got to avoid. Let's dive in. So, what's the end goal here? What happens if you actually apply all of this? Well, the core outcome is something called strategic mastery. And that's just a fancy way of saying you stop just playing the game and you start defining it. What this really means is you get the confidence to stop just reacting to problems and start seeing them coming a mile away. You shift from playing defense to playing offense. You get this deep sense of control over your growth, both in your business and as a person. It's a total game changer. Now, let's get to the philosophy that makes this whole thing tick. It sounds kind of lofty, but it's actually pretty simple. It's all about learning to think like a chess grandmaster. Now, you might be wondering why 5 moves? A chess master thinks like 20 moves ahead, right? Well, in business, 5 is the magic number. It's the perfect sweet spot. It forces you to think past your immediate gut reaction, but it doesn't send you so far into the future that you get stuck in what they call paralysis by analysis. It's all about that balance between strategy and action. And this slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you got the amateur. They think one move at a time, they're driven by emotion, and they're always just reacting to what's happening. But the strategist, they're thinking 5 moves ahead, using logic and planning to actually shape what happens next. The entire point of this blueprint is to get you out of that left column and plant you firmly in the right. So, how do you make the strategic thinking feel, automatic? Like it's just how you operate? Well, you install a new operating system for your brain. And this one is built on 5 foundational master moves. Here they are. These are your 5 core skills, and they build on each other in this exact order. See, it all starts with you, with self-awareness. Then it moves to clear thinking, then to people, then to scaling, and finally to making those big industry-shaping power plays. This right here is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. All right, now we're at the heart of the blueprint, the action plan. We're going to break down each of these 5 moves, starting with what is absolutely the most important one, mastering the art of knowing yourself. Here's your first set of instructions. What do? Conduct a personal identity audit. Get brutally honest about who you are and, more importantly, who you want to be. When do you do it? Anytime you feel stuck or like you've hit a wall. Then how do you know if it's working? It's simple. Your choices start lining up with your vision, and you'll notice you're doing more and second-guessing less. Seriously, all good strategy starts right here. Okay, once you've got that solid foundation of self-awareness, move 2 is all about upgrading the way you think and process challenges. The main action here is a big one. You have to take 100% responsibility. No more blaming anyone for anything. You start using a logical framework, like the solve for X method, for every single issue that comes up. When you do this consistently, you'll start making better decisions, way faster, and you'll stop wasting all that energy on blame and start finding the lesson in every setback. So you're clear on who you are, your reasoning is sharp. Move 3 is where you learn to multiply your impact by bringing in the right people. Now notice, this isn't just about hiring smart people. It's about building systems for people. The action is to create a culture based on clear principles, to really get what makes each person tick, and to document your processes. And this isn't a one and done thing. It's something you're doing constantly. The payoff is huge. You start attracting and keeping the best talent, and that trust makes your whole business move faster. And that brings us to move 4. Growth. This is where you master the strategy to take your success and scale it up, big time. The big mindset shift here is moving from working in the business to working on the business. You get out of the weeds. You do this by obsessing over speed and execution and by constantly looking for ways to improve every single process. This is what you focus on during planning sessions or anytime you feel that momentum starting to fade. And how you measure it? Simple. Real, sustainable growth that you can see in the numbers. All right, here we go. The 5th and final move is the most advanced. This is where you learn to master the power plays. the moves that let you shape your entire industry for the long haul. This is all about playing the long game. The action here is really a mindset. You're going to outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, and outlast everybody. And here's a wild one. A key power play is to always ask how you can help others first. You do this in every single important meeting. The result? You build this incredible reputation, you gain influence, and eventually you start to dominate the market. Okay, so those are the 5 big moves. Fantastic. But how do you make them a part of you? How do they become second nature? Well, the answer is by building very specific strategic habits that become part of your daily DNA. Think of this list as your daily programming. These 5 behaviors are totally non-negotiable. 1, always be trying to beat your last performance. 2, take 100% responsibility for everything. 3, be ruthlessly disciplined with your time. 4, process issues with logic, don't just react. And 5, repeat your core principles over and over until you don't even have to think about them. Eve habits are what make the 5 moves real. And finally, let's talk about the things that can bring this whole system crashing down. You have to be aware of these common traps that will absolutely kill your momentum if you're not careful. You got to be on guard for these 5 things. First, when you're winning, that's when you're most at risk of getting cocky and losing focus. Second, protect your inner circle. Don't let the wrong people influence you. Third, lose any sense of entitlement. You're not royalty. Fourth, be willing to admit when something isn't working and change course. And last, focus on your own game, not just on beating the other guy. Avoiding these is just as crucial as making the right moves. And look, to make this even more real, the book actually provides you with this worksheet. This isn't just talk, it's a tool designed for you to sit down and literally map out your next moves. The blueprint is right here. Now it's your turn to actually use it. And that brings us to the final and, by far, the most important question of all. With this blueprint in hand, you just have to ask yourself with total clarity, where are your next 5 loops? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you do.